I woke up with a start, the room dim and unfamiliar. For a moment, I didn't know where I was. Then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. I was in a hotel room, and not just any hotel room, this was the Las Vegas Hilton. The year was 1970, and I was Elvis Presley. The night before, I had given one of my most electrifying performances. The audience was on its feet, screaming, loving every moment. But now, in the silence of the morning, the weight of it all began to sink in. I was the king of rock and roll, but what did that really mean? I got out of bed and walked to the window. The city below was still buzzing, even at this hour. Neon lights flickered, and the sound of slot machines and laughter drifted up from the casino. I felt a mix of excitement and exhaustion. This was my life now, a constant cycle of performing, moving from one city to the next, always on the edge. I splashed some water on my face and looked at my reflection in the mirror. The face staring back at me was both familiar and strange. I was almost 35, but I still looked like the young man who had burst onto the scene back in the 1950s. But inside, I was different. The years had taken their toll, and the pressure of being a legend was almost too much to bear. I thought back to the early days when I was just a kid from Tupelo, Mississippi. I had nothing but a guitar and a dream. I would sit in my room, strumming away, singing songs that came from deep inside me. I never imagined that those songs would change the world, but they did. That's All Right was the beginning, the spark that ignited everything. When I recorded it at Sun Studio, I knew I had something special. The energy, the raw emotion, it was pure magic. From there, things moved fast. I signed with RCA and the hits kept coming. Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes, Hound Dog, each one a step on the journey to becoming the king. People loved me, but they also hated me. They called me a rebel, a troublemaker, but I didn't care. I was just being myself, and that was enough. The fame brought its own set of problems. There were the women, the drugs, the endless parties. I tried to stay grounded, but it was hard. I had my family, my friends, and my music to keep me real. But even those things couldn't shield me from the darkness that crept in. I walked back to the bed and sat down, the memories swirling in my head. I thought about my early days in Hollywood, the movies, the parties, the girls. It all seemed so long ago, yet it was still vivid in my mind. GI Blues, Jailhouse Rock, Love Me Tender, each one a chapter in my story. I was more than just a singer. I was an icon, a symbol of a generation. But the real Elvis was still there, hidden behind the fame. The Elvis who loved to sing old country songs, who could play the guitar like nobody's business. The Elvis who just wanted to be loved and accepted for who he was. I stood up and walked over to the phone. I needed to call my manager, Colonel Parker. There was a show tonight, and I had to be ready. But as I reached for the phone, I felt a deep sense of longing. I wanted to go back to those early days when everything was simpler, when the music was the only thing that mattered. I picked up the phone and dialed. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. I had to keep moving forward no matter what. The show must go on. I've been thinking about all the songs I've recorded over the years, and it's amazing to see how my music has evolved. Let me take you through a journey of some of my favorite albums and songs, starting from the early days in the 1960s. Back in 1993, a 4-disc set called Double Features was released. It was a collection of songs from some of my movies. On the first disc, there's a song called King of the Whole Wide World, which is just a fun, upbeat tune that always puts people in a good mood. Then there's I Got Lucky, which is another one that makes you want to dance. I remember singing Earth Boy and Return to Sender, both of which are sweet and tender songs that always seem to touch people's hearts. The second disc has a mix of songs from the movies Beyond the Bend and Fun in Acapulco. Beyond the Bend has a song called Relax, which is a mellow, easy listening track. On the other hand, Fun in Acapulco has Vino Dinero y Amor, which is a catchy Spanish-themed song that I really enjoyed performing. I also sang No Room to Roomba in a Sports Car, which is just a silly, fun song that always gets a laugh. The third disc features songs from Viva Las Vegas and Roustabout. Viva Las Vegas is one of my most famous songs from that era, and it's a high-energy track that gets people pumped up. Roustabout has Little Egypt, which is a bit of a slower, more romantic song. I also sang It's a Wonderful World, which has a positive, uplifting vibe. The fourth disc is a mix of songs from Harum Skarum and Girl Happy. Harum Skarum has Harem Holiday, which is a playful, exotic-sounding song. Girl Happy has Spring Fever, which is a catchy, upbeat tune that always gets people moving. In the same year, another 5-disc set called From Nashville to Memphis, The Essential 60s Master's Eye, was released. The first disc has some of my biggest hits from the 1960s, like It's Now or Never and Are You Lonesome Tonight. These songs are classics that have stood the test of time. It's Now or Never is a beautiful ballad that I think everyone can relate to, and Are You Lonesome Tonight is a powerful, emotional song that always resonates with people. The second disc has more of my 60s hits, including Kiss Me Quick and Good Luck Charm. Kiss Me Quick is a fun, playful song that always gets people smiling, and Good Luck Charm is a catchy, upbeat track that's perfect for dancing. The third disc has some of my more country-influenced songs, like Memphis, Tennessee, and Blue River. These songs have a more laid-back, country feel that I really enjoyed. Memphis, Tennessee is a classic that always gets people singing along. The fourth disc has some of my more emotional ballads, like Long Black Limousine and Don't Cry Daddy. These songs are more serious and heartfelt, and they show a different side of my music. Long Black Limousine is a powerful, emotional song that always touches people, and Don't Cry Daddy is a moving ballad that resonates with anyone who's ever experienced loss. The fifth disc has some of my later 60s hits, like Kentucky Rain and Suspicious Minds. Kentucky Rain is a beautiful, soulful ballad that always gets people's attention, and Suspicious Minds is a powerful, emotional song that became one of my biggest hits. In 1994, a 2-disc set called Amazing Grace was released, featuring some of my gospel music. The first disc has songs like Peace in the Valley and How Great Thou Art, which are powerful, spiritual songs that always move people. Peace in the Valley is a beautiful, peaceful song that always brings a sense of calm, and How Great Thou Art is a powerful, uplifting song that celebrates faith. The second disc has more gospel songs, including An Evening Prayer and There Is No God But God. These songs are more personal and intimate, and they show a different side of my music. An Evening Prayer is a beautiful, reflective song that always brings a sense of peace, and There Is No God But God is a powerful, spiritual song that celebrates faith. Another album from 1994 is If Every Day Was Like Christmas, which is a collection of Christmas songs. Blue Christmas is one of my most famous Christmas songs, and it always gets people in the holiday spirit. Santa Claus Is Back in Town is a fun, energetic song that's perfect for the holidays. I also sang Silent Night, which is a beautiful, peaceful song that always brings a sense of calm. In 1995, a 3-disc set called Double Features, Flaming Star Wild in the Country Follow That Dream was released. Flaming Star has a song called Summer Kisses, Winter Tears, which is a beautiful, emotional ballad. Wild in the Country has Lonely Man, which is a powerful, emotional song that always touches people. Follow That Dream has a whistling tune, which is a fun, playful song that always gets people smiling. Another 3-disc set from 1995 is Double Features, Easy Come, Easy Go Speedway. Easy Come, Easy Go has The Love Machine, which is a fun, upbeat song that always gets people moving. Speedway has There Ain't Nothing Like a Song, which is a catchy, upbeat track that's perfect for dancing. In the same year, a 4-disc set called Double Features, Love a Little Charo The Trouble with Girls Change of Habit was released. Love a Little has A Little Less Conversation, which is a fun, upbeat song that always gets people dancing. Charo has Swing Down Sweet Chariot, which is a beautiful, spiritual song that always brings a sense of peace. The Trouble with Girls has Have a Happy, which is a fun, playful song that always gets people smiling. A Change of Habit has Let Us Pray, which is a powerful, emotional song that always touches people. In 1995, a 5-disc set called Walk a Mile in My Shoes, The Essential 70s Masters, was released. The first disc has some of my biggest hits from the 1970s, like Burning Love and An American Trilogy. Burning Love is a high-energy, powerful song that always gets people moving. And An American Trilogy is a beautiful, patriotic song that always resonates with people. The second disc has more of my 70s hits, including Always on My Mind and Way Down. Always on My Mind is a beautiful, emotional ballad that always touches people, and Way Down is a powerful, emotional song that always resonates with people. The third disc has some of my studio recordings from the early 1970s, like Bridge Over Troubled Water and Got My Mojo Working. These songs are more experimental and show a different side of my music. Bridge Over Troubled Water is a beautiful, emotional ballad that always touches people, and Got My Mojo Working is a fun, upbeat song that always gets people moving. The fourth disc has more of my studio recordings from the mid-1970s, like My Way and For the Good Time. These songs are more mature and show a different side of my music. My Way is a powerful, emotional song that always resonates with people, and For the Good Times is a beautiful, emotional ballad that always touches people. The fifth disc has a live recording of my show, featuring songs like Suspicious Minds and Unchained Melody. These songs are powerful, emotional performances that always move people. Suspicious Minds is a powerful, emotional ballad that always resonates with people, and Unchained Melody is a beautiful, emotional song that always touches people. In 1996, a CD called Elvis 56 was released, featuring some of my early hits from the 1950s, like Heartbreak Hotel and Blue Suede Shoes. These songs are classics that have stood the test of time. Heartbreak Hotel is a powerful, emotional ballad that always resonates with people, and Blue Suede Shoes is a fun, upbeat song that always gets people moving. Another CD from 1996 is 100 Years From Now, which is a collection of some of my lesser-known songs from the 1970s. I Washed My Hands in Muddy Water is a powerful, emotional ballad that always touches people, and 100 Years From Now is a beautiful, reflective song that always brings a sense of peace. In 1997, a CD called An Afternoon in the Garden was released, featuring a mix of my classic hits and some of my lesser-known songs. That's All Right is a fun, upbeat song that always gets people moving, and Proud Mary is a powerful, energetic song that always gets people dancing. Another CD from 1997 is Loving You, which is an expanded version of my original album from 1957. Loving You is a beautiful, emotional ballad that always touches people, and Teddy Bear is a fun, playful song that always gets people smiling. And that's just a glimpse into some of the music I've recorded over the years. Each song has its own story and its own special place in my heart. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. I've been listening to a lot of Elvis lately, and it's amazing how many different versions of his songs there are. It's like each take is a different part of his story. Let me tell you about some of the coolest ones. For example, there's this song called A Big Hunk O' Love. The main version is a mix of two takes, but there's also a live version from 1972 that's different. It's like hearing Elvis perform it in front of a crowd, and it feels more real and raw. I can almost imagine being there watching him sing. Another one is A Mess of Blues. The main version is from take 5, but there's also a take 1 that's a bit different. It's interesting to hear how the song evolved as Elvis worked on it. The early takes are like rough drafts, and the final version is the polished masterpiece. There's also Always on My Mind, which I think is one of his best. The main version is from take 1, but there's a take 2 that's on a CD called Platinum: A Life in Music. It's a bit slower and has a different feel, like Elvis is really thinking about the lyrics as he sings them. An American Trilogy is another amazing song. The main version is from a live performance in 1972, but there's also a different live take from the night before. It's cool to hear how the song changes from night to night. Each performance has its own energy. One of my favorites is Can't Help Falling in Love. The main version is a mix of different takes, but there's a film version that's just Elvis singing it in a movie. It's so smooth and soulful, and it makes you feel like you're in the movie with him. Blue Hawaii is another song that has a lot of different versions. The main version is from take 7, but there's also a take 3 that's on the 1997 CD of the movie. It's like a different take on the same song, and it's fun to compare them. He Touched Me is a powerful song, and the main version is from take 4. But there's also a take 2 that's on the Platinum A Life in Music CD. It's a bit more raw and emotional, like Elvis is really feeling the words as he sings them. Heartbreak Hotel is one of Elvis's most famous songs. The main version is from take 7, but there's also a take 6 that's on the Platinum A Life in Music CD. It's a bit different, and it's cool to hear how the song changed as he recorded it. I Got a Woman is another song with different versions. The main version is from take 3, but there's also an unknown take on the Platinum A Life in Music CD. It's interesting to hear how the song evolved and how different takes can sound. In the Ghetto is a powerful song, and the main version is from take 23. But there's also a take 3 that's on the Platinum A Life in Music CD. It's a bit slower and has a different feel, like Elvis is really thinking about the lyrics. Jailhouse Rock is a classic, and the main version is from take 6. But there's also a take 5 that's on the Essential Elvis Vol. 1 CD. It's a bit different, and it's cool to hear how the song changed as he recorded it. Love Me Tender is a beautiful song, and the main version is from the end of the movie. But there's also a take 1 that's on the Platinum A Life in Music CD. It's a bit slower and more intimate, like Elvis is singing it just for you. These different takes are like different parts of Elvis's story, and they show how he worked on his music to make it the best it could be. It's amazing to hear all these different versions, and to see how much he put into each song. I've been diving into the world of Elvis, and it's a wild ride. I mean, the guy could sing, and he had a way of making every song his own. Let's talk about some of the tracks and albums that really stand out to me. First off, Love Me Tender from 1969. I heard the live version from August 26th, and it's just magical. The way Elvis delivers it, it's like he's singing straight to your heart. It's on the Collector's Gold album, which is a treasure trove of live performances. Then there's Loving You, the main title version from 1957. The master take is number 21, and it's just electrifying. It's on Essential Elvis Vol. 1, and it's a must-listen. The slow farm version, take 12, is also on there, and it's a different vibe, more laid back but still full of emotion. Make the World Go Away is another gem. The master is a splice of take 3, and a work part take 1 of the ending. It's on Welcome to My World, and it's a song that shows Elvis's more vulnerable side. He can be tough and charismatic, but this song shows his sensitivity. Mama is a beautiful ballad from the Let's Be Friends movie, and the master is take 10. It's a heartfelt song, and it's clear that Elvis put a lot of love into it. The instrumental part of the movie version is also on there, and it adds a nice touch. Mean Woman Blues is from a movie too, and the master is take 7. It's a fun, upbeat track that showcases Elvis's rock and roll roots. It's on This Is Elvis, and it's a great reminder of why he was such a big deal in the first place. Memphis, Tennessee is a classic, and the master is from January 1964, take 6. It's on From Nashville to Memphis, and it's a song that makes you want to dance. The early take number 1 is also on there, and it's interesting to hear the differences. Milky White Way and Miracle of the Rosary are both on Platinum A Life in Music. Milky White Way is take 7, and it's a fun, quirky song. Miracle of the Rosary is take 4, and it's a more serious, religious track. Both show different sides of Elvis's musical range. Night Rider from 1961 is another standout. The master is take 3, and it's on Collector's Gold. It's a solid rock and roll track that keeps you moving. The earlier takes 1 and 2 are also on there, and it's cool to hear how the song evolved. Oh Come All You Faithful is a Christmas classic, and the master is take 1. It's on Memories of Christmas, and it's a beautiful, powerful performance. The second take is also on there, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to deliver a strong vocal. Rip It Up is a live performance from 1959, and the master is from August 25th, The Midnight Show. It's on Collector's Gold, and it's a high-energy track that really shows Elvis's stage presence. The August 23rd Midnight Show is also on there, and it's just as electrifying. Way Down is a more recent track from 1977, and the master is Take Two. It's on Platinum: A Life in Music, and it's a powerful, emotional song. The earlier takes 1 and 2 are also on there, and it's interesting to hear how the final version came together. Wild in the Country is from 1967, and the master is Take 19. It's on Elvis Presley, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to blend different genres. The earlier Take 16 is also on there, and it's a different but equally powerful version. Words is a live performance from August 25th, The Midnight Show. It's on Platinum: A Life in Music, and it's a beautiful, soulful track. The August 24th Midnight Show is also on there, and it's a great example of Elvis's live performances. Yesterday and Hey Jude are a medley from 1969, and the master is from August 25th, The Dinner Show. It's on Elvis Presley, and it's a great blend of two classic songs. The August 24th Dinner Show is also on there, and it's a different but equally enjoyable version. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me is a beautiful ballad, and the master is Take 3. It's on 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4, and it's a powerful, emotional song. The earlier Take 2 is also on there, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to deliver a strong vocal. Your Cheat in Heart is a classic, and the master is Take 10. It's on Hits Like Never Before Essential Elvis Vol. 3, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to blend country and rock and roll. The earlier Take 9 is also on there, and it's a different but equally powerful version. Young and Beautiful is a beautiful ballad, and the master is Take 22. It's on Essential Elvis Vol. 1, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to deliver a strong, emotional performance. The earlier takes 8, 12, and 18 are also on there, and it's interesting to hear how the final version came together. Your Cheat in Heart is a classic, and the master is Take 10. It's on Hits Like Never Before Essential Elvis Vol. 3, and it's a great example of Elvis's ability to blend country and rock and roll. The earlier Take 9 is also on there, and it's a different but equally powerful version. These tracks and albums really show the depth and breadth of Elvis's talent. He could do it all: rock and roll, ballads, country, and even Christmas songs. It's no wonder he's still so beloved today. I remember going through the records and songbooks that stacked up like a small mountain in our living room. Each one felt like a piece of history, a memory that could sing. There were so many songs and artists, each with their own story. I spent hours flipping through the pages, imagining the stories behind each tune. There was the Fool's Rush In, that Grandma used to hum while she baked pies. I always wondered if it was about someone she knew. Then there was Frankfurt Special, a song that was a bit of a mystery to me, but it had a catchy tune that stuck in my head. I loved the way the words flowed, even if I didn't fully understand them. I found a photo of Uncle Carl, standing with a group of people who looked like they were having the time of their life. The caption said, "Four fellows." I wondered if they were famous, or if it was just a group of friends who loved to sing. It made me feel connected to a part of the family I didn't know much about. One of the most interesting finds was a collection of songs by a man named Bobby Gentry. Her voice was so smooth and soulful, and the stories in her songs were like little movies playing in my head. Ode to Billy Joe was one that really stood out. It made me curious about the world she came from and the people she sang about. I also stumbled upon a song called Gentle on My Mind. It was written by a guy named John Hartford, and it was so beautiful that it made me want to learn to play the guitar just so I could try to play it. The way the words and the melody fit together was magical. There were a lot of songs about love, of course. If I Can Dream was one of my favorites. The way it talked about hope and the future really resonated with me. It made me feel like anything was possible. I also found a song called I Believe in the Man in the Sky. It was a powerful hymn that my grandma used to sing at church. Listening to it, I could almost hear her voice. I spent a lot of time with the Elvis Presley records. His voice was so unique, and the energy in his music was infectious. Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog were the ones I played over and over. I couldn't help but dance and sing along. The way he could make a song feel like a roller coaster ride was incredible. There were also a lot of songs that told stories about life on the road, like Long Black Limousine and Lonesome Cowboy. They painted pictures of a world I had never seen, but I could imagine it vividly. The lyrics were so vivid and emotional that they made me feel like I was right there with the singer. I remember finding a song called Jailhouse Rock. The movie had a poster with Elvis, looking so cool and rebellious. It was one of those songs that made me want to be a part of something bigger, something exciting. I even tried to do the dance moves, which made my family laugh. Some of the songs were older, like Hawaiian Wedding Song and O Sol Mio. They had a different feel, a timeless quality that made me appreciate the history of music. I learned that music connects us to the past and helps us understand where we come from. There were also songs that were more modern, like Hey Jude and Lady Madonna. The Beatles were a big part of my parents' generation, and their music had a way of bringing everyone together. It was easy to see why they were so popular. I found a song called I Can Help by Billy Swan. It was a simple but powerful song about being there for someone when they need you. It made me think about the importance of friendship and being there for the people you care about. As I went through the records, I felt like I was piecing together a puzzle. Each song was a piece that told a part of a bigger story. Some made me laugh, some made me cry, and some made me want to dance. But all of them reminded me that music is a way to connect with people, to share feelings, and to make the world a little brighter. Well, as I close this book, I can't help but think about the incredible journey Elvis Presley had. Elvis wasn't just a singer. He was a phenomenon, a symbol of a changing America, and a true legend. His music touched so many lives, and even though he's gone, his spirit lives on through his songs and the memories of those who loved him. Elvis started as a shy kid from Tupelo, Mississippi, with a dream of making music. He worked hard, faced challenges, and never gave up. His unique sound, combining rock and roll, country, and gospel, captured the hearts of millions. He didn't just sing. He performed with such passion and energy that it felt like he was singing directly to you. From his early days at Sun Studio to his iconic performances at the Las Vegas Hilton, Elvis evolved and grew. He experimented with different genres, from ballads to blues, and he always found a way to connect with his audience. His movies, while not always critically acclaimed, brought joy to many and helped him reach a wider audience. But Elvis's life wasn't always easy. He faced personal struggles, including the loss of his mother, health issues, and the pressures of fame. Despite these challenges, he continued to perform and create music that resonated with people of all ages and backgrounds. Elvis's legacy is more than just his music. He broke down barriers and paved the way for future artists. He showed that with hard work, determination, and a little bit of magic, dreams can come true. His impact on popular culture is undeniable, and his influence continues to inspire new generations of musicians and fans. So as I turn the last page of this book, I hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for Elvis Presley and the incredible journey he took. His music and spirit will continue to live on, reminding us all of the power of passion and the magic of music. Thanks for joining me on this trip through Elvis's life. It's been a great ride.